Yeah, good evening to you all. I welcome you all back to tonight's session. This evening, we are looking at some labor issues that we are currently facing as public servants in the country, Ghana. And honestly, these issues have not been of joy to any of us. So I would like us to look at a couple of the issues. And I believe that the government gets this info and the appropriate authorities who are also responsible to ensure that things are done appropriately for the lives of every member of this nation is made easier according to constitutional rights, um, are held liable for and accountable for their positions. So just to give you a brief history of what this whole thing is about. Now, 2024 December, there were newly posted nurses. That is the 2020 batch of nurses that had graduated from the university and nursing training colleges across the country. However, upon their postings in 2025, I've worked for about close to 9 months, and currently, as I speak, I've worked for about um, 11 months and beyond. However, the issue still remains that only 11 months of the salaries which were expected to come have not been paid. And somewhere last year, November, payment started for November, December, and January salary. However, prior to a series of events that happened before payment began, they went on strike, went on a whole lot of negotiations to meet appropriate authorities who were supposed to be responsible to ensure that payments are made for these young people that had been newly posted to work, to ensure that their lives are also um, legally being bettered, made better, sorry. So the issue still remains that currently 11 months of their salaries have not been paid, and it is not the best because looking at the current conditions in the country, not even getting paid for a month, and looking at the standard of living, the conditions of living, and to also ensure that you take care of your family and continue with your daily work, and a whole lot of things boiling down from accommodation, feeding, transportation, healthcare, spanning across. These are just a few that I'm mentioning, and not being paid 11 months of salary by public institutions that we deem in high esteem, who are also knowledgeable about contractual agreements and legal agreements concerning labor issues, but not, excuse my language, not adhering to these laws is not encouraging at all. So just want to see that regarding the nurses that have not been paid for 11 months now, this honestly is a cycle of oppression, and it is not the best because it makes it look like um, as part of the human rights initiative for citizens of the nation, it looks like a certain isolated groups have been infringed upon, and it's not the best. And looking at it from the dimension that the perspective that this is a contractual agreement between employees who are the nurses and employers, which indirectly under the Ministry of Health, and also in relation to Ministry of Finance, because they also release funding when it comes to some of this issue, and directly under the government, looks like they put a contractual agreement, an employee-employer agreement, and the employer rather failing to honor, or let me say violate this contractual agreement legally, and still expecting that at the end of the day these same people appear come to work every single day regardless of the financial difficulties they are facing, regardless of the mental torture that they are predisposing these young people to. I don't think it's the best. So I believe that the government needs to quickly work on this because it's just an isolated group of people that have been affected. If it's generalized, where we will see people in ministerial positions, the ministers, even though there was a transition, a change of government, their salaries have not been affected in any way. So I don't see why just an isolated group, nurses and teachers, will be going through such hurdles. And these are people that take care of lives, human lives, and need to be in a place where they are comfortable mentally, comfortable financially, to ensure that they don't have any outliers that will predispose them to risking the lives of the people that are entrusted under their care. So I believe that this a violation when it comes to their basic human rights, not just a violation of their labor rights, where they are expected to receive their remunerations at the end of the period, the contractual periods. And one other thing I've also noticed is becoming cyclical in the sense that um, this thing is not the first time it's surfacing. It has happened before, and it's portraying something that it's becoming a norm. But when you look at it from the perspective of labor, it's not legally right. And this cyclical occurrences is not the best. It's not professional at all. And I believe that things can be done about it. Now, when it comes to issues concerning the payment of salaries, um, people,